The M5 was created on the basis of the 5s with the body of the E34. Most EMOs are four-door sedans, but for sure, fans of the model know that, in addition to this version, there is also a rare 5-door M5 touring station wagon. The external differences between the Mach and the usual 5s are minimal, see photo, and this makes it easier to find the right body parts. And such athletes often need them. According to the masters of a specialized service, it is very difficult to find an M5 that has never had an accident. To drive this car, you need a fairly high qualification. Due to the high engine power and rear-wheel drive, you can rip the M5 into a deep skid even on dry pavement, not to mention slippery and wet surfaces. Therefore, when buying an M5, you should carefully examine the body. With poor quality body repairs, the metal, as a rule, begins to rust, especially since it does not have a protective zinc coating. In addition, over time, cracks appear near the support cups of the rear shock absorbers, as well as on the apron under the rear bumper in the area of the right lamp. The hella front optics also turn out to be not very durable. The chrome coating peels off the plastic reflector, and the headlights do not shine well. However, this is typical for all the 5s of this generation. Since the M5 version is the top of the lineup of 5s, these cars are stuffed richer than others. So, even the minimum level of equipment includes a leather interior, Recaro sport seats with many different adjustments, even knee support can be adjusted for you, air conditioning, 4 power windows, heated electric mirrors, central locking. Please note that the M5 Salon can be not only 5-seater, but also 4-seater. Both a familiar sofa and 2 seats separated by a high armrest can be installed at the back, see photo. But even on an ordinary sofa, as, indeed, in the other 5s, 3 passengers are cramped, and the high central tunnel of the floor will interfere with the person sitting in the middle. The weak point of the cabin is the glove compartment opening mechanism. On many machines it breaks down. The disease is not only E34, but also the E30 triples. Service workers also recalled cases of failure of the stove fan, which is manifested by whistling and crackling during operation. Hart's M5, 3 gasoline inline 6s. The 3.5-liter engine, 315 horsepower, traces its lineage to the same unit that was equipped with the mid-engine BMW M1. True, in the M5 E34, it underwent changes. It acquired a 24-valve cylinder head, a new control unit, etc. In 1992, it was replaced by a more modern unit with a volume of 3.8 liters, which first developed a power of 327 liters, and then 340 liters. More often in Ukraine there are M5 with a 315 horsepower engine, S30B36 and 340 horsepower, S36B38. The first accelerates more than 1.5-ton sedan to hundreds in 6.1s, and the second in 5.9s. To the envy of tuners, all these high-tech engines were standardly equipped with a 6-throttle intake manifold and a Spider sports exhaust manifold. The timing is driven by a durable metal chain, and the cylinder head is devoid of hydraulic lifters that are not suitable for uprated engines. Moreover, the valves are regulated, as a rule, only during the repair of the cylinder head. All BMW straight 6s are very afraid of overheating, which in most cases leads to cylinder head failure. It is deformed, bridges between valves burst, etc. Therefore, the golden rule of all owners of cars with straight 6s is constant monitoring of temperature conditions engine. Overheating is caused by a failed viscous coupling for the cooling system fan drive, a sore point of all motors, radiators clogged with dirt or fluff, or leakage of working fluid from the expansion tank due to a malfunction of the overpressure relief valve installed in the plug. In the M5 engines, an air blower was used for the first time in the exhaust gas purification system. On older machines, the compressor of this supercharger may fail, which is manifested by a whistle during their operation during engine warm-up. The rear crankshaft oil seal is also leaking. In a 3.5-liter engine, over time, oil leaks from under the sealing ring installed on the oil drain pipe from the cylinder head were noted. Motorists have noticed that M5 engines are good when they do not break, but if anything fails, you will have to seriously spend money. All the details for them are 2 to 3 times more expensive than for the units of conventional 5s. For example, even banal candles for M5 will cost from $25 per one piece. M5 is equipped with a classic rear-wheel drive transmission for real sports cars, and to ensure better traction, the rear axle is equipped with a mechanical self-locking differential. Only one gearbox was used, mechanical, unlike the main competitors of the Audi S4/S6 and Mercedes 420e, 500e, W124, in the arsenal of which, in addition to the mechanics, there was also an automatic. The 5-speed mechanics is more common, and only the cars of the last 1995 release were equipped with the 6-speed. Over time, the bushings and gear lever rods wear out in the transmission. The backstage oil seal and the gearbox shank oil seal lose their tightness. The rubber elastic element of the propeller shaft suspension support cracks. A special reinforced clutch is used to transmit the high torque of the engine. Despite this, experts note that on many machines, clutch damper springs are worn out. This malfunction is manifested by an unpleasant knock when shifting gears. The maintenance of a mechanical transmission consists in changing the oil in the gearbox every 60 to 80,000 kilometers, and in the rear gearbox after 30 to 40,000 kilometers. The M5 suspension is stiff, as befits a sports car, and provides it with excellent stability. Structurally, it is the same as on ordinary 5s, although reinforced parts are used everywhere, silent blocks of levers, ball bearings, etc., for which there are no non-original substitutes. In the front suspension, after 30 to 40,000 kilometers, you will have to change the anti-roll bar struts, spare part, $32, work, $5, but the rear ones last much longer. By 60,000 kilometers, ball bearings, which are offered together with front levers, spare part, $194, work, $15, $20, and silent blocks of levers, they can be replaced separately, spare part, $19, work, $25, may require replacement. Note that the A-pillars of modifications with 3.5 and 3.8-liter engines are different, and the latest version costs more than twice as much, original, $604 against $1,700, respectively. Unlike the usual 5s, in the rear suspension of the M5, plain bearings are used, which perform the function of silent blocks. They serve more than 100,000 kilometers, and their failure is manifested by a knock while driving, spare part, $70, work, $50, $80. At the same time, it is necessary to change the silent blocks of the rear beam, spare part, $32, labor, $25. Over time, it becomes necessary to adjust the convergence of even the rear wheels. Worm roller steering, equipped with the power steering that changes the degree of amplification depending on the speed of movement, provides the M5 with precise controllability and safety when driving at high speeds. In the steering, the pendulum, bushing brakes, and the tie rod ends fail. The braking system of the M5 is very powerful. ABS is standard. Disc ventilated mechanisms are used not only in front, but also in the back. Experts noted that the pads are suitable for them from the usual 5s, but they do not provide proper braking performance. Over time, the parking brake drive mechanism rusts. To avoid a problem, you need to regularly use the handbrake and service it with each MOT. So, it's time to answer the question, should motorists bind their fate with the BMW M5 E34? Yes, but not all. This toy is for those fans of the Bavarian horses who can afford to spend a lot of money on their maintenance. Firstly, these cars are very voracious. Fuel consumption in a quiet driving mode in the city is about 16 to 18 liters per 100 kilometers, and in active mode, over 20 liters. Secondly, since all machines are over 10 years old, many components and assemblies may need to be replaced. Thirdly, spare parts that are not unified with the usual 5 cost 2 to 3 times more. Therefore, if you are not financially ready for such expenses, it is better to admire your idol from a distance.